Yes, good evening. Savva here from Football Heritage TV. The transfer window is shutting very slowly, but very surely this week. The transfer window is shutting. And as always, the Tottenham fan base, we're all very split on what this window has been. What does it mean? Have we done enough? Have we done enough for the project? This is brilliant for youth. Is it good for ambition? Have we spent enough? What have we recouped? Lots of people are going to have very, very different opinions. And of course, that's absolutely fine. But one thing I will say is this. Look, first and foremost, I think however anybody perceives it, it's on them, right? It's on them. We don't all have to agree. I just think it gets a little bit silly where people are told that they're not a proper fan because they don't like something or because they like something. For me, every one of us, we're all Tottenham fans. Just because we might have a different way in which we feel we get from A to Z doesn't make us less of a fan. Does it show less ambition? I don't know. Does it show more ambition? I don't know. Do some people just want to be fans so that they can be really, really happy all the time and sing songs? Sure, cool. Knock yourselves out. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. What I do keep seeing, though, is a lot of, you're a rubbish fan because you might have questioned something. But isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that what podcasts are about? YouTube channels, punditry, all of the football shows, Talk Sport every morning. Isn't that what it's about? It's about people questioning things. It's about looking at, from a Spurs perspective, looking at Tottenham Hotspur and saying, what do you want from the club as an individual? What do you want? Because if you are a fan who, you want trophies, but they're not the main thing. You just want to enjoy, you want to support, you want to watch young players, you want projects and knock yourselves out. Absolutely. I think if you are a fan who's been through the ringer a lot, if you're a fan who's been there for a million years, what it feels like, and are seeing the same thing over and over again, and you want more, knock yourselves out again. It's absolutely fine. I just think that this telling people that they are terrible fans because they don't think that the club is changing just isn't really the way to go. And look, we're going to have a look today. Let's start off. Let me start off by saying absolutely big up and welcome to absolutely every single one of you. You know the game. Please, we'll be going for about an hour and a half. Please smash the like button. Only 35 likes. Listen, my style, as you know, is I do very much do a lot of these shows by myself. It does take, it does take an absolute ball ache to actually do this by myself. So please do smash the like button. Just a bit of encouragement. We got our first one of the day. This is nothing to do with what we're talking about, but this is what you get from people. So the Spurs destroyed Everton and were just defensively impeccable. I mean, we haven't even talked about any of the performances yet. Just slow down, mate. What I think happens a lot is people start looking at someone like me and they go, Savva is X type of fan. He is this type of fan over here. So then no matter what I say, it doesn't matter. People will always just think whatever they think about me. So look, it is what it is. But I think the real people, the ones who actually listen to me, they'll know what I'm saying. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Let me put it out there. Do I think we're going to finish bottom half? No. Do I think we're getting relegated? No. Do I think we're going to finish top 4? No. Do I think we're going to challenge for trophies? No. That's just me. Everybody is entitled to it. But look, for me, everybody knows my biggest bugbear with a football club is more about how we're run. And it's more about how Daniel Levy, I've seen him described today as the Darren Brown of football chairman. And I can't disagree. I think he's absolutely superb at pulling the wool over people's eyes. Let's look at this. At the start of the season, the start of the summer, should I say. Start of the summer, every Spurs fan, we need an SA. We need a Tony. We need a Zubamendi. We need a top centre back. We need a top left back. We need a new a second goalkeeper. We need experience. If we had 3 or 4 proper players, we can go on and do things. Fast forward 3 months and it's, I love this process. Who better to sign than Odegaard and Gray and Bergvall and Solanke? And I'm not knocking those players. They're good footballers. But it's amazing how Daniel Levy and the Spurs recruitment director of football team, whatever, manage to do this over and over again. Thunder Road, Darren, it's Darren Brown, Derren. I've actually met Darren Brown. He hypnotized me. He's a world famous, what they call a mentalist, like a hypnotist, mentalist. Takes people under their spell, makes them do things, blah, blah, blah. Google him, Darren Brown. So I'll put his name in the chat. Very good, very clever man, magician as well. Very, very clever. Darren Brown. I think it might have an E on the end, not the hash. So apologies about that. Look, I think this is the key thing. You know, I don't think there's any need to go, oh my God, it's dreadful. But equally, I don't think there's anything to go, oh my God, I'm really excited. That's just where I sit as a fan. I sit somewhere in the middle there. Because Spurs haven't done anything that makes me as a fan go, oh, yeah. And we haven't done anything which makes me go, oh my God, we're getting relegated. So for me, you know, it's very, very, I'm feeling exactly the same way as I did last season. I haven't seen anything from an entire year's work of our director of football and recruitment team that suggests that they want to win. I haven't seen anything to suggest that they want to improve. And we're going to get into that in a minute. And I will get some comments shortly. And then I'll bring some stuff up. Big up, Nate. Yeah, I'll be doing a deadline day show. I'm actually not working Friday. So I'm going to be doing a deadline day show. Look, is there anything to be excited about going into this deadline day? I don't think so. Sorry if you hear the dogs. I think my wife's just walked in. Stewie, mummy's home. Mummy's home. Stewie, mummy's home. Go on. Good boy. Good boy. Sorry. You know, listen. I just, you know, I look at this and go, where was I? Where was I as a fan in May? Where was I as a fan? Sorry, let me shut this door. They're going to make loads of noise. Whenever the wife comes in, the dogs go absolutely bananas for her. They love her a lot more than me. Where was I as a fan in May of 2024? Where was I as a fan in May of 2023? And I look at it and I just say to myself, look, I try not to do the emotional aspect of it. I try not to look at it and say, I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm just going to love everything. Because I think you get caught up in a web of, you just get caught up in a web of nonsense, to be honest. Where people are saying it's lagging, yeah, that's YouTube. I'm sorry, that is YouTube. There's nothing I can do about that at this time. But you get caught up in a web of your own delusion if you do that. And there's nothing wrong with delusion. There's nothing wrong with being very happy. But what I do take offense to is when people who are just very, very happy but can't exactly explain why or can't exactly put any evidence down as to why we've improved want to really have a go at a fan like me who's very seldom wrong about this club. Very rarely am I wrong in a year about where we're going to end up. If people want to see that as negative, that's fine. But, you know, I see it as realistic. I see it as realism. Big up who we got in the chat. Big up Faz. Hope you're well, my man. Said big up Savva. How many points needed for the next 6 matches to be hopeful for the top 4 finish? Oh, look, I don't know. Look, it's far too early to know that. Look, I said that we would get 10 points from our opening 6. And so far we've got 4. I thought by now we'd have 6. I'll be honest. I think 2 points dropped at Leicester City was really poor, if we're going to be brutally honest about this. But then all it takes is to beat a really bad Everton team. And I'm starting to see videos. People are putting out videos and doing polls. Are Spurs back to their best? And it's like, I can't be one of those people that is so reactionary to each result. I'm very consistent. Look, let's have a look, shall we? Big up to absolutely everyone in the chat. There are so many people. I will get to comments as we go throughout the show. But I'll just ask very kindly again, please smash the like button. Only 64 likes. and we've got over 275 people in here, and we've had no subscribers throughout this show either. So it's starting to get a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit sparse doing the shows and not getting any likes or subscribers. It's starting to get a little bit pointless putting them on every day. But if you would like to subscribe, that'd be great. Savva, where was Chelsea in your prediction? I had Chelsea down as finishing. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. What did I predict? I predicted this. I have Chelsea down as finishing 5th. Man United and Chelsea, Villa for me are all going to be there or thereabouts. Very difficult to predict 4th to 8th if we're going to be brutally honest. Big up, bro. Leo, how you doing, man? Sorry, big up, Leo. Hope you're well. Please get over there to the Mile High Hotspur. Look, I am very consistent. And you know why, Leo? Is because not a lot changes. I get it. There are channels out there that want to be super happy. I've got nothing against them. Crack on. Do your thing. But what I hate is that when I'm constantly mocked, I'm being told that negative for negative's sake when what I say more often than not is actually what is happening. Because you know what? What I'm saying isn't controversial. It's not crazy. Sorry, it's too hot with that door shut. Apologies. What I'm saying isn't negative. It isn't crazy. It isn't controversial. It's actually a lot of common sense. I get it though. Football fans, they want fans of their own club to just turn around and say, "Oh my God, it is amazing," and that's absolutely fine. And listen, had we acted like a proper club in the transfer window, I might be sitting here saying, "Oh my God, I'm really excited." Let's have a look, shall we? A couple of things that have happened. Let's have a look at this, shall we? So this came out, and again, credit to Hotspur Related via The Athletic. So big up to Hotspur Related official. Said Tottenham have met their main priorities for this window. By the way, we'll dissect this whole statement in a minute. Tottenham have met their main priorities for this window and are not desperate to go back into the transfer market before it shuts. Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall have impressed so much that they are no longer want another midfielder. A big name departure in the next few days would force them to find a replacement. Now, let's break this statement down, shall we? First of all, Tottenham have met their main priorities in this transfer window. If these signings were our main priorities, again, I think that goes to show what lots of people who don't like Daniel Levy say, that there isn't any ambition. Surely, I'm going to say it. I didn't see anybody going into this transfer window suggesting, I'll tell you what I want. I want Gray, Bergvall, Yang, Odegaard and Solanke. We didn't see that. We had people saying the complete opposite. We had everybody talking about, we want Eze's, we want Zubamendi's, we want Neto's, we want Tony's. We want Hincapi's. We want, we want, what's his name? It's, his name's gone completely out of my mind. Bayer Leverkusen, Tapsoba. So we've gone from, we want that, to we've met our priorities for this window. Now, bearing in mind, this is off the back of Ange telling us that we need a better winning mentality. This is off the back of Ange telling us that we want to address the weaknesses in our squad. So I'll leave that with you. We'll talk about that in a minute. Feel free to put any comments in on that section. The next bit for me is very interesting. Archie Gray and Bergvall have impressed so much that they are no longer in for another midfielder. Right? Now, I have so many issues with this, it's unreal. First and foremost, the Spurs midfield isn't as strong as the other clubs. That tells you straight away you've got to buy better. Secondly, if Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall have impressed so much, why are neither of them starting games of football? Now, yes, as the season goes on, you'll probably see them in Europa Leagues, etc., League Cups. Of course you will. But when we're talking about they've impressed so much that even when Bentancur was out or Basuma was out, neither of them started a game. Even when Sarr didn't start the game or Bentancur at the weekend, neither of them started the game. So again, this is really, really not quite getting it. The last bit I'm going to ignore, a big name departure in the next few days. I don't know what they mean by that. I can't see anyone that's relatively, where are we there? Relatively big. Let me move this comment. I can't see anyone that's relatively big leaving the club in the next few days. But again, when you look at this, and look, David Derrill, listen, dude, I'm going to let you stay in here, but look, first of all, what you've got to do, your comments have to actually reflect what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about other clubs going for Eze or Tony. I'm talking about when Tottenham fans, every Tottenham fan, we want Eze. Tony, Eze's going to be a done deal. He was seen in the box at Spurs. Eze. Tony's a done deal, right? So, no, and there's no problem at Eze's end. Someone's got to pay the money for him. And please do not mention Rodri's name in the same breath as Bergvall and Gray. Rodri came in for a season, played understudy to Fernandinho, who was another world-class midfielder, and then the rest is history. There's a very big difference, David. So can we please, let's keep this sensible, because otherwise, if people are going to say things that I've not really said, it doesn't help the flow of the show. So please keep it sensible, okay? Look, Bergvall and Gray for me, I fail to believe that when they came into this club, they turned around and said, you know who we want? We want a kid from Leeds and a kid from Sweden. I just fail to believe that this is what the manager wanted if he's got an ounce of ambition. Now, you've got to remember that the manager is the one that says, I always win in my second season. I always succeed in my second season. I win trophies in my second season. Sure, not when you're buying kids, you don't. Not when you're buying kids, you don't. So for me, I think that we have to, I take that with a pinch of salt. Andrew was saying the other day that it's possible one more might come in. And I think that it will be, someone on loan. I think it will be like a sub keeper or a sub left back. I think it will be something very underwhelming. But again, I think it shows where Tottenham are as a club. Only, again, in my opinion, no one else's, my opinion. I don't speak for anyone else in the fan base other than me. I think it speaks volumes about what the ambition is, that we don't look at our midfield and think, can we strengthen that immediately? I think that tells you everything you need to know, that nowhere have we gone, let's really strengthen. Even when you look at Solanke versus Richarlison, is it really strengthening? I mean, it could be a slight improvement, but is anyone really able to sit there through an honest lens and say, this is a massive improvement? A guy that's had 1 year of scoring 19 goals, and before that, his best season was 6. I'm not really sure we can. Then you look at other clubs, and this is where I don't think all the other clubs are absolutely brilliant, by the way, and they all make mistakes and blah, blah, blah. Of course they do. But I look at Man United, for example. Man United have got a balance this window, haven't they? They've got a balance of experience and youth that they've brought in. Man United have brought in Mazraoui, highly experienced. De Ligt, highly experienced. Agate, experienced at big clubs, right? International level, experienced. They've then gone and on top of that, bought Yoro, young player. Yeah? They've then gone and got Xerxes, young player. But they've got that mixture of youth and experience coming into their squad. We've just gone youth. And it's like, okay. Then you look at Chelsea. Chelsea buy 1 million kids every summer. But then you look again. You look again who they're bringing in. João Felix now is a supremely experienced footballer that's played for some of the biggest clubs in world football. Pedro Neto is an experienced footballer now. You look at if they bring in Ivan Toney. Yeah? Ivan Toney's an experienced footballer now at that age. So when you look at it, there's that mixture of youth and seniority. Man City only brought in 2 players, but look at the 2 they brought in. Savio is a young player who is exceptional, by the way. And then Gundogan as, do we really need to talk about Gundogan? So again, 1 young, 1 senior, and the balance is there. Spurs have just seemed to have gone completely the other way. And that's fine, but it doesn't sit there. And for me as a fan, when I remove my Tottenham hat, glasses, scarf, whatever you want to call it, when I remove all of those things and I actually look deep down at what have Spurs done, the answer for me is not a lot in terms of catching up. And that's okay. That's okay. And again, it always goes back to, and I think people always miss this off when they misquote me or quote me. It's what do Spurs want to be? And if the answer is a team that wins trophies and closes the gap on the big clubs, then we've spectacularly failed. If it is a club that want to get European football every year, whether that's Conference League or Europa League, and hopefully a cup run, then we've been very successful. But I don't think you could turn around and say that we've shown an ounce of ambition. You know, an ounce of, Pete Sincock has said, Savva, generally, do you think we're stronger or weaker than last season? I think we're weaker. I think we're weaker than last season. We've let a lot of players go, so the depth is less, and we've not really replaced them with any experience. We've replaced a lot of players with a lot of youth. For me, I don't see where we're stronger. I know people will want to talk about, I know people want to talk about Odegaard better than what we had, but at the moment we've got no evidence of that. Of course, we can't have. He's only played 60 minutes. Archie Gray and Bergvall so much better than what we had in midfield. Again, we've got no evidence of that because we haven't seen them start. Graham Pennant saying we're better than Man United. We're not better than Man United at all. Man United win trophies. So again, you can say these nice things to make yourself feel better, but Man United win trophies. So at the end of the day, I keep hearing that Tottenham can, but we don't. Scott McTominay, apparently, here we go. I'm guessing that's to Napoli, is it? Lots of talks today. Chelsea in talks with Ivan Toney. Again, makes complete sense. Again, all of the belittling Chelsea have got, all of the people. But when I did this, by the way, sorry, bear with me 1 second. When I did this, where are we? Here. When I put this together, people are going, oh my God, you got Chelsea in fifth. I'm looking at Chelsea's forward line and midfield, and I think it's much better than ours. And that's the difference. I look at the players they're bringing in, and I think they're much better than what we're bringing in. And that for me is why I think I put Chelsea there, because Chelsea have got the ability to go out. Who is it who said? So I just saw a comment which I didn't agree with, but I wanted to bring up. It wasn't rude or anything. EJH, yeah, look. I mean, he might look at Chelsea's young policy, but Chelsea are also signing some senior pros to go with it. So, yes, they're buying youth, but they're also buying some pros to go with it. It is what it is. Rumours of a Sancho and Sterling swap deal. Look, I mean, again, that's got nothing to do with Spurs, but look, again, I don't know, a fresh start for both of them. I don't know. Sancho for me is supremely talented. It's whether or not he can get a manager that brings the best out of him for an entire season for me with Jadon Sancho. And Sterling, look, been there, seen it, done it, experienced, scores goals. I don't know what he's got left in the tank. I don't know. But again, not really about Spurs. John George said Neto, Felix and Palmer for 135 million. Solanke, Grano. Yeah, again, it's levels, isn't it? It's absolute levels. And this is what we do. Unfortunately, this is what we do. We spend a lot of money. We have done over the years, but we constantly keep buying these players who are not as good as other clubs. And again, it has to go down to the scouting team. I fail to believe, no matter what I think of Ange and his style of play, I fail to believe that Ange has looked at this and said, you know what, these are the players I want. These are the first team players I want. Now, for me, when I look at Odegaard, Gray, Yang and Bergvall, Those 4 coming in a window in its own is fine. But they should be alongside 3 or 4 senior pros, and we've not done that. And we're going to have a look at the business Spurs have done in a minute. First of all, please, can we get some subscribers? Not one new subscriber this show. Really, really poor. And the likes, only 130. There's 383 of you. Come on, guys and girls. I don't charge you for this. It is free. Just smash that button. It really would help. The fact that so many of you are here watching, surely some of you are enjoying it. Gus has said, if I had said 2 years ago Kane would be replaced by Solanke, people would have laughed. Yeah, but now they're calling it perfect. And, you know, it is what it is. By the way, can we not talk about any other YouTubers in the chat? Sean is dealing with some stuff, okay? Sean is not away from YouTube for anything to do with football. He is dealing with some stuff. Let him deal with it. He'll be back in his own time when he's good and ready. There is more to life than YouTube, all right? There is a lot more to life than YouTube. Let's have a look. I saw this, and I'm sure many of you have seen this flying around. And for me, this graphic sums up Tottenham Hotspur and Daniel Levy's reign. You can see here, for anyone that doesn't know how to read, you know, this is almost like a P&L sheet, I suppose. The top section is players that have left the club on a permanent basis and the fee. And bearing in mind, some of that fee we don't actually get this year. So, for example, the Pierre Højbjerg fee, we don't get in that 12 million. So if you look there, it's 5 million for Eric Dyer. Tanganga, Sessegnon, Perisic and Ndombele all went out for nothing. Actually, we had to pay 5 million to get rid of Ndombele, but that's a separate story. That's on wages. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, sorry, I've set that to 10 minutes. I meant to set that to 5 minutes. Sorry. Sure, that was meant to be subscribers only for 5 minutes. Apologies. Smash that like button, people. Come on. Let's show a little bit of love at least, shall we? It takes me away from my family doing this, so surely just a little bit of love could be great. No subscribers, not many likes today. Really, really sad to see, to be honest. So that yellow, you can see there, Joe Rodon, 10 million. Troy Parrott, 7 million. Højbjerg, 12. Emerson, 15. Skip, 20. And we got 5 million for the sell-on clause for Jack Clark going to Ipswich. So all in all, and then you've got the loan players underneath that in terms of Solomon Hill, Valise, Phillips, Vuskovic, Dane Scarlett, and Jamie Donnelly. So all in all, that's 74 million pounds raised. Bearing in mind, 5 million of that 74 is a sell-on clause, and 12 million of it we don't get, I believe, until next year. Now, where does this become interesting? So it's 74 million pounds there. And can you let me know, guys, if I put my mouse, can you see if I'm moving my mouse cursor around? I don't think you can. If anyone can't see that, what I'm looking at is just under the bright yellow and just under Jamie Donnelly's name, you can see there's a figure there, right? You can see there's a figure there of 46.178 million in salary that has gone out. So in this summer, that's how much salary has gone out the door. And what I mean by that is the yearly salaries added up. That is what Spurs have got rid of. So yes, the majority there with Perisic on 9 million, Tango and Ndombele on 9. You got just over 5 million for a Pierre Højbjerg, 3 million for Manor Solomon if he goes to Leeds. But look, you could see a lot of that money there, right? Now, if we go to the bottom, you can actually now see the incomings. So you can see where it says the 2024, 2025 additions. And you've got, again, the MF is not male, female. It is midfield and forward. You've then got their ages there. And then you've got their salary. And then you've got when their contract expires. Okay. Now, on the right-hand side, you've got how much they cost. So again, Spurs have just spent 124.5 million, just shy of 125 million on Gray, Solanke, Bergvall, Odegaard, and Yang. So from 4 players who are 20 and under, 3 18-year-olds, 1 20-year-old, and a 26-year-old, we've spent 124 million. Now, if you look at the 74 million that we recouped, that is 50 million pound net spend. So Spurs have spent 50 million pounds net. That's our net spend. Okay. So for everyone who was talking about this is a big window, this is going to be a massive year for Daniel Levy. He's going to back Ange. So far, you're looking at a 50 million pound net spend. Now, let's dig into that even further. And the reason why those salaries per year are in there is it makes very interesting reading. Okay. And thank you to the person that did just subscribe. Whoever you are, hold your hand up and I'll give you a virtual high five. Big up to you. The salary per year is very interesting. So we can read into this in any way and in many ways, and we'll have a look at all of those different ways afterwards. When you look at all of the salaries going out from Dyer all the way through to Jamie Donnelly. Now, again, for the players on loan, I don't know. Some of them will have 100% of their salaries covered. Some of them 50%, some 70%. We just don't, I don't know off the top of my head, right? But 46.1 million in salary has gone out. And they've replaced those players with 13.4 million in salary a year, right? 13.4 million. So you think about it, all of those players coming in, their salary was 3 million more than Tungai Ndombele was on his own. So what that means is it's a 32 million pounds salary saving. Now, give or take a few million under that, because of the players on loan. Okay, let's be fair, right? So Spurs are somewhere, let's say somewhere between a 28 and 32 million pounds salary saving per year with the business we've just done. So what does all this mean? Is it bad that Tottenham are financially well run? No, it's not. Of course it's not bad. Is it bad that we've got players off the books on big salaries? No, of course it's not. But is it bad, and this is from my point of view, is it bad that this looks to me like this was purely a cost-cutting exercise rather than an ambitious exercise this window? If you look at everything there, nothing there suggests that Tottenham have done anything to show ambition. We keep hearing we can't afford the same salaries as the bigger clubs. We just saved 32 million pounds a year. 32 million pounds a year. Just to put it in perspective, 10 million roughly, for anyone that doesn't know, roughly 10 million pound wages a year is roughly 200,000 pounds a week in salary. Roughly. Okay. So what we've done there is we've just saved ourselves 200k a week footballers. So the reason why I pause, the reason why I go quiet, is just for people to just take it in a little bit. Just take it in. And again, this will be things that people won't want to see. There'll be YouTubers making videos about me later going, oh, look at Savva with his facts and stuff. I'm just providing detail. I'm just providing evidence of this is what the club have done. I'm not making this up. Again, this is what the club have done. And I would get it if we were in financial trouble. I would get it if we had FFP PSR issues like Aston Villa did, Chelsea, Newcastle, Forest, right? All of these clubs that had FFP and PSR issues. This is the type of spreadsheet I would expect to see for them. For them to go, right, hang on, we're well overspending. We need to claw some money back. Right, let's chop away at this. We'll chop here, we'll chop there. Right? But we haven't. This is Spurs' spreadsheet. So when you look at this, I'm just asking here, look at some of the names on this list. Look at the names down the left-hand side on that list. And tell me what one of them, does one of those players anywhere in that list, anywhere, get into Arsenal's squad? right? Now, bearing in mind, this doesn't take into account Timo Werner's salary. So we've got to add that. Timo Werner's salary, yeah, fair enough. Got to add in Timo Werner's salary for the year. But again, then you see, rather be a well-run club than other clubs with FFP issues. I don't think it has to be either or. I don't think it means that you either have to be well-run or have issues. I think there's a middle ground. So again, I'm looking at this, and can anyone tell me, any one of those footballers down the left-hand side, do any of them get into Liverpool's squad? Arsenal squad. Yeah, and big up, Chris. Big up, absolutely, thank you, yeah. So this is taken into account, yeah, so we're still paying Werner's wages, yeah, get it, I got it. Cheers, Chris. Chris is the numbers guy. Chris is like Daniel Levy, but without being a horrible little git. Big up, Chris, hope you're well, my man. Does any of these get into Liverpool's squad? Do any of these get into Arsenal squad? City squad? Again, I just don't see how this is true in any way, shape or form. I don't think Arsenal want Dominic Solanke in any way, shape or form. Again, I mean, Dominic Solanke starts for Liverpool above Diogo Jota. No, he doesn't. No, he bloody well doesn't. What are we doing here? So when you look at this, right? Now, again, this is a good point. Thank you, Nige. Big up, Nige at Pure Coys. This is a good point. We still haven't sold Lo Celso or Reggie yet. If those two go, think how much more money we could make. Again, I do think we're going to get into the realms of bias here when people are talking about Solanke starts for Liverpool or Arsenal. I guarantee you no Liverpool fan would want Dominic Solanke over Diogo Jota, Gakpo, excuse me, Salah, Gakpo, Jota. I just can't see at all. Sure, he was pursued by Barca, but what does that mean? Barcelona, what did Barcelona say, though? Barcelona said, yeah, we don't need to go in that deep for him. We've got 1 million of him in our youth team. But that doesn't mean Bergvall starts or gets in the squad of Liverpool or Arsenal. Who in Liverpool's squad does Bergvall get in front of? Who in Arsenal's squad does Bergvall get in front of? Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Mikel Merino, Jorginho? Nah, not a chance. Not a chance. And this is the problem. I think until some of our fans actually start admitting these harsh truths to themselves, Endo, on what evidence does he start over Endo? First of all, they're very different players. Why would it suddenly a kid with no experience start over Endo? Well, if the question is who does he start in front of Spurs' squad, well, none of them really do start, do they? And agreed, Bergvall doesn't even get in the Spurs team yet. So, look, when you look at this, I just thought this was a really interesting graphic. By the way, thank you to the person who just subscribed. I really do appreciate you. It really does mean a lot. So thank you for that. So look, what I won't do anymore, I'm not going to apologize to people for showing things like this. I'm not going to apologize for wanting better. If people don't want better from their football club, that's cool. That's on them. I don't mind. But I'm not going to apologize for me wanting better. When you're saying Endo is crap, Endo was excellent towards the back end of last season. He was very good in that Liverpool team back in the last season. But again, what we're doing here, we're getting 18-year-olds who have never started a game in the Premier League and saying they're better. They're better. I'm going to tell you right now, none of those signings get into any of the squads above us. Endo would definitely start for us. We don't have a number 6. Of course he'd start for us. And this is the thing. Again, when we signed, and just to make a point of everybody losing their mind, sorry, Bigger Boat said, I honestly think we are like 2 to 3 players away from closing the gap. We should be excited for the season after with the youth we've brought in. Sure, I got bored of being excited by youth, though. We're the 6th, 7th richest club in world football. Why should I be excited for bringing in youth? Why don't you want better players? This is the problem. When we say we are 2 to 3 players away, we're always apparently 2 to 3 players away. The window is when you get those 2 to 3 players in. So why aren't we doing that now? Impact Vid said, genuinely such a disappointing window, to be honest. Minerals, but it's not all Liverpool fans. I've got a few Liverpool mates who said he started really slow, but the back half of the season, once he settled, he actually did really well. And the thing is, you've got to remember, they're basing him on they're a team that win leagues and Champions Leagues. Yeah? There's a huge difference. Bergvall has never played anywhere. He's played in Sweden, and we got fans thinking he's better. Of course, yeah, they want signings. But Liverpool are still going to finish massively above Spurs, I can assure you of that. Look, it is what it is, right? I mean, when we look at this sheet, I just find it truly interesting that when people want to turn around and say, see, look, Phil, you're in denial. You show this every week. You're in denial. I don't know what's so special about our midfield that gets ripped apart from game to game to game. Daily uploads, I'm just giving some facts, my man. I'm just giving some facts. Look, the spreadsheet is showing you, not me, the spreadsheet. You do realize all this information on this screen here, right? All this information on this screen here, there, that's not my information. That's the club. That's what Tottenham have done. So, again, what I'll ask is, so aren't you happy we got some wiggle room on salary? I don't even know what that means. It doesn't mean anything. Look, it is what it is, right? Tim, where is it? Tim has said, I'm all for bringing in youth to nurture for the future and add some depth in places, but we needed big signings to improve the squad for now and the next couple of seasons. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we're saying that, we just picked, you've picked 2 players who are just so inconsistent. Basuma's done nothing in a Spurs shirt for 2 years, and Bentancur is very inconsistent. So what automatically makes them better than Endo? I don't know. Phil, the problem is you've said this about everyone. Oh, I love Solanke. Oh, I love Oda, but our midfielders. The way you talk about our players, we should be winning leagues. I'd love you to come on one day, Phil, and talk to me about Spurs, because it's another one that's just, you're really happy with everything Spurs do, but when they don't win anything at the end of the season, when we haven't progressed, you'll still find a way to back it up, even though it failed. And I love that. That's what I love about Spurs fans. Alfie, yeah, absolutely. Look, absolutely. And Alfie, it goes to show. By the way, Adogi isn't great defensively. Let's call it for what it is. I can honestly assure you they have never, ever invited me, and they never will. I don't know why. They never will. They'll never invite me. I'm not nice enough about the club for them to invite me. I don't think it's good for their brand, for their image, to have someone who... I'd bring up things like this and they wouldn't want to hear it. But listen, I've got no problem. I met all the Last Word on Spurs lot at the Football Content Awards. They were all sound guys. And I don't know, they've invited every man and their dog on there, but not me, which is fine. I don't need to go on there. It's not a big deal. It is what it is. Yeah, June, unfortunately, this is what we're doing. Look, I'm a fan of players have to show how good they are over time. And unfortunately for me, I don't think enough of them have. I don't think Bentancur has. I don't think Basuma has. I don't think Adogi has yet. I think Adogi's a decent player, but I don't think he's a left back. I think he's a guy that still makes a lot of mistakes. But they go unlooked. We'll see. But look, that spreadsheet there, 50 million in net spend and 32 million saved in wages. 32 million saved. So again, you look this window and you say, what was the aim of Tottenham Hotspur this summer? And again, I'll take you back. Let's have a look. I'll take you back to this statement. Spurs have met their main priorities for this window. Have met their main priorities. Let that sink in. If that is our main priorities, what does it? Sorry, that light is not even shining on me, is it? Sorry. If that is our main priorities, no Spurs fan can sit there and tell me that there's ambition and that we're going to win things and that we've backed a manager and that we want to win. No one can. Yeah? Phil, I don't think I have. Phil, I haven't, mate. I haven't. I see what you say every show. Yeah? I don't understand what this means. Spot on. Have we bought any Deadwood apart from Johnson? I don't. What do you mean by that? Sorry. I mean, look, Deadwood we'll find out in due course, right? Very difficult to tell with players of Deadwood yet, isn't it, when they haven't played? But, you know, all of the... I'll tell you what, let me just bring this up 1 second again. This was the other point I wanted to make. By the way, sorry, hang on. I've missed a super chat. Big up, Ethan. Thank you so much. Coming on the other day. So the problem is, Savva, people wear us being sustainable like a badge of honour. I'd trade our last decade for Leicester's in a heartbeat. Yeah, but the FFP champions, the PSR champions. Big up, Ethan. Thank you so much for that. You're so right. We wear it like a badge of honour. I'm a football fan. I want to see my club win trophies. I don't want to see my club getting awards for the best sustainably run club. Or I don't care about all of that. I'm a football fan. I don't live on a spreadsheet. But Daniel Levy does, as I've just proved it. Let's have a look at that one more time, shall we? And what I want to show here was, when we talk about Deadwood, right, isn't it funny that years ago, when I turned around and said Rodon's crap, Ndombele's crap, Sessegnon's crap, Tanganga's crap, Skip's not good enough, Royal's crap, I was told these people, they're young, they're going to come good, they're great signings, we're building for the future. Brian Hill was another one, Solomon's another one, Valise, Phillips, Scarlett, Don, right? Now, they're the same players that those same fans are calling Deadwood. Let that sink in. So 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, all of these players were the same ones I was told I was negative for then. And I was told, wait till they all come good, Savva. They're young. 3 or 4 years later, it's not the club's fault. We're struggling to get rid of Deadwood. Hang on, a few years ago, you loved this Deadwood. A few years ago, you loved them. Not all of you, you know what I mean? And we don't have any... I think the thing is, people like me get stick because I'm consistent with my opinions. Other people just want to fly on the seat of their pants. Oh, I love Conte. Conte's the best. Conte's the best. Right? How many fans were saying that? Conte leaves. Oh, Conte's way was rubbish. It wasn't about Conte. And is the way forward. Hang on. You weren't saying that a few months ago, people. You know, for me, I just think that that spreadsheet is a damning indictment that Tottenham Hotspur have had a really poor window and have done absolutely nothing to try and close the gap. I'm seeing Man United bringing in Agati today. Man United are bringing in Agati. Cue loads of fans going, he wouldn't get in our midfield. Nonsense. He'd be our best midfielder. Man United bringing in Agati. Chelsea now going for Tony. Right? You know, Man City signing players like Gundogan back. Arsenal bringing in experienced in Mikel Merino. Right? It's mad. Do you know what? It's actually the opposite. There's actually very little. I just went, but never mind. Need a haircut. But big up to you, my man. And again, Daryl, thank you for bringing that up. I hope you're well, my friend. Again, let's use Papa Sarr. Let's use Papa Sarr. 2 years ago, I'm told by everyone, oh my God, this guy is generational. This guy is going to be superb. Yeah, he's the future. He is like Yaya Toure reborn. He is Patrick Vieira regen, right? 2 years later, Archie Gray and Bergveld. Now they're the generational ones. Hang on, you said that about Papa Sarr 3 years ago, and he's still not shown anything. So for me, you know, it's just mad. I mean, apart from win trophies, I don't know, what more do you want them to do? This is Spurs fans in a nutshell. Are they going to do anything, though? Yeah, they win trophies. Man United win trophies. Thank you for the 2 people that just subscribed. Guys and girls, look, we are, don't know if you can see that. We're only 31 away from 13.4K. That'd be amazing if we get a few more towards that number. Frankie, I don't even know what his potential is. I don't see a lot in him. I think he's an okay young player. The problem is every time we sign a young player, people start talking about give them 2 to 3 years for a ceiling, the imaginary ceiling that everybody seems to know on every player. Their ceiling. What ceiling? How do we know? How does anyone know what a player's ceiling is? All I know is I'm not seeing improvements from Papa Sarr from one game to the next. I don't see him boss games. I don't really know what he does. But again, Papa Sarr goes onto that list with all them other young players I showed you. Exactly, Jimmy. I mean, Angelo, it's hard to know, right? Because Ange is the one sitting there saying, Odegaard was one I wanted. Yeah? He's saying, sorry, where's my charger? Odegaard, he's the one I wanted from beginning. Solanke's the one I wanted. Gray's the one I wanted. The manager's saying he wanted these players. So if you want these players, then he has been backed. You know, it's hard to say. This win is a statement. The so-called big 3 failed to... I can't take... I'll just block anybody that's stupid from now on will just get blocked. I want this to be a grown-up football channel, all right? I can't be bothered with all the silliness. CMO, big up, my man. Is that Connor? How you doing, bro? Said, you reckon you'll get any more deals? I reckon we'll get a loan, Connor. You know me. I reckon we'll get a loan. A free, something really underwhelming that our fans will pretend they wanted all along. I mean, I had fans, big up, bro, big up, Connor. I had fans saying to me today, I wouldn't want Locatelli. I mean, I'm looking at our midfield, Connor, and I've got fans going, wouldn't want Locatelli. You know, when you just think, what are we doing here? Am I looking a bit dark, people? Has it all gone a bit dark, my end? I feel like it's all gone dark. Apologies. Again, that's what we are as a fan base. If we sign Locatelli now, everyone loses their mind. But when you suggest him, people start going, no, don't want him. He's not better than what we've got. Someone said to me earlier, oh, he doesn't do anything better than Bentancur. Gee, like, madness. Well, but again, video complete. Ange is saying the opposite. He keeps saying the opposite, that he does want Johnson, that Johnson was his guy. He is wearing that with a badge of honour. For me, Alpes should have been, for me, 2 very easy signings to do, but we wanted kids. I don't know. So let me know. Let me know what you think. I mean, when you look at that spreadsheet and you see a 50 million net spend and you see 32 million saved in wages, what's the aim of the club is what I'm asking. What is the aim of the club this week? What was the aim? By the way, guys and girls, right now, please, can we get another 50 people smashing that like button? Can we start showing some love, please? We've got 438 people in here, 219 likes. Let's get another 50, 60, 70 likes. Come on, people. I don't ask for your money, but it's free. All I ask is that you smash that like button. I want Chiesa or Edison from Atalanta. Yeah, look, it just doesn't seem like this is what we do. Not yet. In a couple of years, yeah. But again, he falls into another one, very young. I want some proof. We're the 6th, 7th richest club in world football. I just want us to act like it a little bit. Just a little bit. That's all I want. Yeah, agree. Martin agree with both of those things. Yeah, we did scat him before, but Ange signed off on it. I mean, look, for me, that's where I think Ange needs to be stronger and say, nah, don't want him. But if Ange is accepting those players, then what's it say? Graham has said, I have a very bad feeling VDV will be made to run so hard he'll break down. Yeah, listen, we know that. We know that. That the style of play we've got, it's okay against an Everton. But when the better clubs get in behind, you're going to stretch VDV's legs. Every time VDV goes down, who else goes? Oh, my God. Oh, God, he's injured. He's injured. Daniel has said, it's crazy. I'm so used to seeing mediocrity. I don't even care who Spurs sign now because it never amounts to anything that's important. And I think this is the key thing for me. And again, I'll reiterate this before people join and say it's negative. What we're doing is absolutely fine to be a Conference League, Europa League team. I've got no doubt about that. We will stay in those positions. I'm talking about how do we go from here to there? How do we make those steps? Rich, big up to you, said now saying from seeing Graham Bergvall in the training, we don't need a midfielder. But Ange threw a cup game because he couldn't make a decision on players from training. Which is it? Yeah, I just think this whole Bergvall Gray thing is crazy. If they're that good, play them both. Yes, I think to a degree, everyone who comes to Spurs has to be, in a way. I think, I think Conte figured it out very quickly, didn't he? And was like, nah. Jose talked about us saying, this is Tottenham. This is what the owners want. They don't want success. If we can't listen to Jose and Conte, I don't know who we can listen to. How do you see us getting on? Listen, it's a great time to play them with their injuries. Bad time to play them in terms of Tonali coming back. I think he'll be fired up. I think he's a really good footballer, Tonali, by the way. But look, they've got injuries at the back that we've got to try and take advantage of. I think, again, it's all going to depend on what forward three he puts out. So we'll see. Again, I think we will end up with someone like this, whether it's this window or next window. Again, I like Hayden Hackney, but for me, he should be the sort of player that's coming in behind a Locatelli, right? Do you know what I mean? Behind an Edison. I just feel these shouldn't be the first team players. I won't be surprised if VDV goes to Man City when Ruben Diaz's legs start weakening. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, absolutely, possibly. One thing's for sure, it will all depend very much on whether Pep Guardiola is still there or not and what type of player they're looking for. Brighton, I mean, look, again, Brighton made some decent signings for their level, but we're making signings similar to Brighton, right? We're making signings at the level of a Brighton. And it just means, what was the point of moving stadium? O'Reilly is one of the biggest signings. They must see something in. Yeah, I like Matt O'Reilly. I said before, I really like him, but hey, it is what it is. Gus has said, I hope Gray isn't another case of a footballer dad like Johnson. Brennan Johnson's dad was much better than him. Big up, Liston. How you doing, bro? Said, Savva, did you see the Sven Goran interview where he advised Abramovich to buy Chelsea instead of Spurs? I didn't. I saw your message saying that earlier, so I will go and have a look. I'll Google that and have a look. I like watching things like that. Jimmy has said, very unlikely Tonali will start, been out for a year. Sure. Listen, you just never know. Newcastle have got a few injuries, so he might just have to start. Thank you to the person that just subscribed. We're now only 28 away from 13.4K. 28 of you. There's 450 of you in here. Can we get 28? Just smashing that subscribe button. If one of my mods would be so kind to put the link to subscribe in the chat, that'd be amazing. Faisal Khalifa has said we had spent 100 million plus on kids. We should have bought Isaac and Gomeres. Well, listen, unfortunately, Isak, we're never going to sign an Isak, and he would have been 100 million on his own. Look, I think we've shown this year we don't have that ambition to sign top players, so never going to happen. But not saying I disagree with you, but never, ever going to happen. Ed Emma said, you just know the BS. They don't want a midfielder because Gray and Bergvall is spin for we can't get who we want. I just don't think they tried. I really don't think they tried, if we're going to be brutally honest, Ed. Look, you and I have been around long enough, man, to know we know how this goes, don't we, mate? We know how this goes. Adam has said, window has been so underwhelming. I thought that we would at least have got in one big game player, DM or right wing. Yeah, it has been underwhelming. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. ST has said Havertz, Marino, Calafiori, and Timber equals 150 million. I know. Senior pros as well. Proper senior pros compared to what we're bringing in. And again, that is why Arsenal will be in a title race, and that is why Spurs won't be. It's that simple. Aki said, what happens to the South Korean we signed? Yang is still playing for his current club, or we loaned him back to his previous club in South Korea. He'll be joining us in January. Wouldn't surprise me. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a really good midfielder. Where are we? Ethan Bates. Big up Ethan has said Kadioglu would have been good for us. Right foot as well. Yeah, good player. Good player. But, you know, I think there's many players we could say that would be great for us that we've... apparently, anytime we don't sign a player, our fans make up a narrative that, you know, he's not an Ange-type footballer. So, hey... To Don Soulful, big up to you, has said, not convinced clubs will be keen to sign Van der Ven. As good as he is, we all know how fragile he is on the injuries. Look, I mean, we'll see. If he picks up another big injury this year, we'll know. But there's nothing to say he will, but there is evidence to suggest that it's likely. So we'll see. Where are we? Star Crow said, Ange seems really big on players being ecstatic about coming to Spurs. I feel some quality players that get mentioned may not be as excited. Look, Star Crow, when Ange gave that interview and he said, the player has got to be really excited to come if they just want to come for money. But look, I know he won a lot of fans over on that day. I look at it different. I think you've got to make the player excited to want to come, right? I think money is money, right? These players can command money. They're going to ask for that for Spurs if they're asking for it from Arsenal. To go by Ange's standards, the only players you're ever going to sign are young, hungry players where Spurs is an upward step. Let's be honest. Van der Ven, Spurs are a forward step for him, right? James Maddison from Leicester to Spurs is an upward step. Odegaard from Burnley to Spurs. Solanke from Bournemouth to Spurs. Gray from Leeds to Spurs. Of course, these players are excited to come to Tottenham. The difficulty is, can you go and get a player who's already at a semi-big club and say, come and join us. This is what we're doing. Come and join us. Can you make them excited? So I didn't agree with Ange on that one for me. Again, it just seems that he's putting that across to offset some really bad signings, if I'm brutally honest. I think if he does, Faz, I'll be really disappointed. I'll be really, really disappointed if he does start versus Newcastle. I think he had a really poor game against Leicester. I think he had a really poor game against Forest. I think I don't think he had a great pre-season. I can't remember the last time I saw Brennan Johnson have a good game. What are my thoughts on Arsenal's window? Look, Arsenal I've got a feeling you'll do one more thing. I don't know what you think, Angus. I've got a feeling Arsenal will do one more thing in the last 3 or 4 days. Look, you've brought in reinforcements at the back. You've brought in reinforcements in the middle. And I think you'll bring in reinforcements in the front area. What more can you ask? You've brought in senior pros who know what they're doing, solid internationals. Look, again, you had the best defence in the league and then go and sign a really good defender to help with that. Timber's coming back into that as well. Mikel Merino's a seasoned international Champions League footballer. He's come in as well. You've had a good window. You're at that stage, Angus, where you don't need to be buying 7 or 8 players a window. But have you done enough to take City's crown? I don't think so. But I do think you'll be in a title race again. So we'll see. Kaylee has said the aim is to make money and that's it. It does appear that way. I agree. It's selling your project. We failed in that. Yeah, look, I would. What would be great to know, Ed, and I think from all of us would love to know this, right? Because I don't know this. None of you know this. None of us are attached to the club. I would love to see who we actually approached in the summer. And I don't mean their club. I mean agents that we've gone to and gone, I'm just going to chuck a name out there. Let me think of a name. Let's just use Locatelli. I'd love to know, have Spurs gone to an agent like that and gone, we're really interested in Locatelli, your guy. Is he available? What's the situation? I'd love to know who we've tested the waters with. It's easy doing an Odegaard deal, a Solanke deal, a Bergvall, Gray, Yang. These are very easy deals to do. No matter how much Spurs will tell you it's a difficult deal, there is no difficulty taking players from these smaller clubs, right? We haven't paid over the odds other than Solanke for anybody. But, I don't know. Big up Terry. So watch the minority sale happen the second the window closes so they don't have to spend. If it happened now, the fans would expect signings. Yep, absolutely. Listener said, Newcastle hasn't had a good window either, even worse than us. I mean, what have Newcastle done this window? I don't even know. What have Newcastle done? Let's have a look. Hang on. I'm going to have a look at enter search team. Let's have a look. Newcastle. I know Newcastle had a few financial problems, didn't they? Oh, hang on. Probably help if I spelled Newcastle correctly. Newcastle United. Let's have a look. Bear with me 1 second, people. Let's have a look. Newcastle United in the Premier League. Every time I go onto Transfer Market, I have to see 15 adverts. Here we go. All transfers. Right. So Newcastle United, all transfers. Come on. Yeah, here we go. Right. So Newcastle United this season have brought in Lewis Hall, Vlachodimos, Usala from Sheffield United, Lloyd Kelly and John Ruddy. Yeah, I'll concede. If I'm a Newcastle fan, I'm disappointed. And they've sold, well, I mean, what they've done, they've absolutely balanced their books, haven't they? They've really balanced their books. Look, last year, Newcastle spent 153 million euros and only made 44 million euros. This year, they've spent 68 million euros and sold 76 million euros. Yeah, if you're a Newcastle fan, you're going to be disappointed, aren't you? You're going to be disappointed. Big up Ryan McFarlane said we are a stepping stone club for most players. Yeah, of course. Because when people talk about patience, have patience, Savva. Wait 3 years, wait another 4 years. Players don't wait. The players don't wait. So it's kind of a redundant thing to say. Locatelli's at Juve. Yeah, I know Locatelli's at Juve. Jimmy has said Spurs fans turn their noses at Chiesa and now Barca and Liverpool battling for him, but not good enough for Spurs. The number of players I see, Jimmy, that our fans don't want is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But then we talk up our players like we win stuff. Absolutely. This is what we do. But people get excited. Guy Dunn, not true. Liverpool have signed Mamadashvili. He'll be the succession plan to Alisson for sure. And even without signing anyone, their squad is so much better than ours. So I don't think in all of people saying Liverpool haven't signed anyone, I don't think we've done a single thing to close the points gap on Liverpool. That's why they sold both. Who did they sell? That's why they sold both Yankuba Minte and Elliot Anderson for 80 million euros between them. So, yeah, they had to sort it out. Remember when we won FFP and PSR, Quinny? Remember all those people doing videos going, Daniel Levy's a genius, we've won this, they've done that, and blah, 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 blah. And then in the end, nothing really happened. Guys and girls, only 262 likes. If people don't like the content, just tell me and we can stop the show. Come on, people. Let's get some likes in there. And thank you to the subscriber. We're now only 25 away from 13.4K. So please do smash that like button. Much appreciated. Who we got in the chat? Angus has said they're close to signing Mark Gray, apparently from Palace for £75 million. Yeah, it does look like they've gone for that one all window. Look, when Newcastle's an interesting one. If Newcastle can get their first choice back, let's assume, makes an arse of you and me, I know. Let's assume they sign Guehi. And now Newcastle have Pope in goal, Trippier, if he stays, or Livramento, Guehi, Botman, Byrne or Hall, Tonali, Guimaraes, Yolinton, and then Isak, Gordon, and one other. It's a very good team. It's a good team. And they're playing once a week. So, again, look, I get it. This is one of those. If it comes off, bacon saved. Aguahi, I mean. If it doesn't come off in the next 3 days, big questions going to be asked of the Newcastle owners from the Newcastle fans, and rightly so. I can't sit here and ask these questions of my club and then excuse other clubs. I can't do it. There are we. Do you think Ange will be here by the end of the season? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's like anything. If he has a great start the first 10 games, yeah. If he has an appalling start, then no. But we'll see. And by the way, Mamardashvili is class goalkeeper, yeah. So that Liverpool in talks for Chiesa, as well as Juventus. Juventus today, who signed Coop Miners. By the way, everyone told me this summer that Juve were in a youth project. When I watched Juve play yesterday, they had kids all over the team. That's an actual youth project, not us. Angus, if Arsenal sign Gyökeres, can we win the league? He says, yes. Of course. Look, I think you need to. Yes, you can. Will you? I've still got City as title favourites, mate. I've still got City. You know why? Because their manager's better than yours and they've got experience. Sorry, for me, I just can't see past them again. So we'll see. We'll see. Big up, Dan, who said, start of the window. Eze, Elise, Olmo, Tony, Calafiori, Jimenez. End of the window, great. Yes. And Daniel, it's like I said. It's like I said the other day. When I finish this show, if I go downstairs to my wife and go, right, we're going on holiday in 2 months. I'm promising you we're going to Mauritius for 3 weeks, all inclusive. And she goes, yeah, that's great. Yeah, leave it with me, love. And then 2 months later, Dan, I turn up and I go, here you go. Here's your boarding pass. Oh, what? We're going to Benidorm for a week. Right, that's what Spurs do. We promise it. And the fans are as bad. This is the problem. All the fans that go, you're negative. They were the same fans saying Eze, Elise, Olmo, Tony, Calafiori, Jimenez. Again and again. I really like Gyökeres. I think he's got everything as a footballer. I think he's getting better and better in his career. I watched him the other day. I think he's a really good player. So I think he's a really good player. I would have had him over Dominic Solanke all day, every day. But we know we're not signing that type of player. By the way, we are now only 23 subscribers away from 13.4K. 23 of you. Would one of my mods have not helped me out today at all, have they? Let me find my link. I'll find my link. Here we go. Are we there? Is that my YouTube link? It's sod's law. I can never find my own link to stuff when I want my information. Anybody else I can find? There we go. Okay, home, Football Heritage TV, copy. There we go. Can we get 20 more of you smashing that subscribe button to get us to 13.4K by the time the evening's out? There's the link. Be really appreciative. Mark, nothing wrong with Benidorm, but I think the point of this was. Sorry, look like I've been bitten on my neck. I haven't. It's not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's the case of if I had turned around to my wife and said, we're going Mauritius, and she's telling all her friends. This isn't a true story, by the way, before anyone says, guess what Savva did? She's going and telling her family and her friends, oh, my God, Richard's taking, my real name's Richard. Richard's taking us to Mauritius. And then she has to tell everyone, oh, no, we're going to Benidorm. It's a huge downgrade, isn't it? And that is what, unfortunately, this window has been like. Yeah, you never know. In a couple of years, Benidorm could be as good as Mauritius, right? Absolutely. Big up, Lee Jennings. Are you doing invites onto your channel? Not today, I'm not. I will have between now and Friday. By the way, Friday we're going to have we'll do a really long stream from mid-afternoon through to 11 o'clock, just for the transfer window, Spurs' transfer window, all of the different transfers as well. There's lots of noise going around right now. I'm hearing and seeing all topics that screenshots that are being sent to me. Is that Chelsea want Osimhen and Tony? I mean, I don't know. Cheers, ST. Thank you. Hate Spurs, but love you. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Lord Rodney Trotter said, keep an eye on Coach radio, on your coach radio. I don't know what that means. I shouldn't have got involved in that. Swedish Chelsea fan said, I hope we can get Osman or Tony. I really believe in Maresca. We haven't had a proper coach in a while. Well, look, he's definitely a coach. Some of the football you played in that second half against Wolves was really good. And on the counter-attack, you were devastating. Let's see how you progress. I do think you'll finish above us this year. I think your forward options compared to ours are superior. When I look at Nkunku, Neto, Felix, Palmer, Madueke, I just think your options compared to Tottenham are just epic, really. Video complete says City won't win the league. They just lost Alvarez. If Haaland gets injured, I hear this every year. Every year, City won't win it because of this, that, the other. Why not? They'll play a false nine like they did when they won it without a nine. We'll see. Michelle Gaines says it keeps happening, getting linked to all the top players, then nothing arrives. I don't think that, Michelle, they don't need to sign top players because most of the fan base are happy with the kids anyway. I'm going to go for another 5 minutes. Code Critters said, can't believe we let go of Madueke on a free. Watch him, watch Brennan Johnson. That's all I'll say. One we gave away for free, one we paid 47 million for. Total Spurs. But I hear this every year. Every time City lose a game, oh, they're not as good as last year. Oh, they're not as good. Oh, they're not as good. How many of you last year, be honest, hold your hands up. They're not as good as last year. And every year I say, yeah, but they'll come with their run in January. They'll come with their run in January. I don't make you wrong. Chelsea are probably stockpiling in preparation for a transfer ban. And if they do, they've then got the squad there. But you know what Chelsea are also doing? They're selling players. Chelsea have made, I think when Lukaku goes tomorrow, that will be £205 million worth of footballer they've sold. 205 million. Robert said, sadly for my team, City will win the league. Frankie said, fact is we can't even get decent players, let alone top players. Eze should be easy to do. He's not even that great. Oh, no, I like Eze. Eze's a top footballer. Hang on, let's not do that. He's not even that great. Eze's a top footballer. And it's difficult to do because we won't pay the 60, 70 million, whatever's needed. That's why. Daniel said, does Locatelli just above save our window? Listen, I think so. Again, everyone's an expert when they come to Ange. I look at it and go, Locatelli would be brilliant for us. Sit in front of that back four. I watched him the other day again. This isn't one game I've watched. I've watched him for Juventus so much, Daniel. Sit in front of that back four. The back four giving the ball, the other midfielders giving the ball, the wide men giving the ball, and they just let him dictate play. And then you get people going, but Ange doesn't want that from a number 6. Ange wants his number 6 to run with the ball. Well, yeah, maybe that's why we concede so many goals. I don't know. Savva, do you think Mikel leaves if we don't win a trophy? Look, does he leave? I don't know, but you've got to win a trophy at some point. I'm not saying you have to win the league, but you do have to win an FA Cup or the Champions League or the Europa League if you get knocked down into that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but Frankie, yes, I do think it's someone we should be able to get. But again, look at the money that's involved with it. Eze wasn't the same as a Dominic Solanke. Dominic Solanke we can pay over time. Eze had the release clause, right? Eze had a release clause where if anyone paid, was it 65 million, but 50 or 45 million up front, then they got him. That release clause has since gone. That means now Crystal Palace don't have to sell. So Tottenham can go and say 70 million and Palace can go, we want 90. That's how it works. Big up. Good evening to the Alex Scott experience. Hope you're well, my friend. Listen, I'm not knocking Benidorm. I was there a couple of years ago on a stag do, but honestly, I'm going to ask my wife after this if she'd be upset. I'm going to ask her while she's off camera. Would you be annoyed? Hello? Would you be annoyed if I said to you, we're going to Mauritius for an all-inclusive 3-week holiday, and then when we turned up at the airport, I went, oh, sorry, love, we're actually going to Benidorm for a week. You would. There you go. You'd think I'd let you down. You'd start finding someone else.
I just don't know why you lied to me.
See, she just wouldn't know why I lied to her. Daniel Levy is lying to us, people. If my wife gets it, how do we not all get it? Yeah, Daniel, absolutely spot on, mate. Daniel Harris, spot on. Promised the world at the beginning of the window. Fans were talking up a big game. And then everybody's ambitions go boom, 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 boom. And we've gone from Eze to, oh, Odeberg's good. And you're like, oh, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Big up Hennessy. How you doing, mate? Long time no speak. Said, surprised we didn't go do a Wenger and offer £1 above the release clause for more favourable payment terms. Oh, I remember. Wasn't that Luis Suarez? Guys and girls, going to go just for another, it's 23 minutes past 7. We're going to go to 7:30. So you've got 6.5 minutes left. And then I am going to have an evening away from football because I've got a long stream on Friday for transfer deadline day. Where are we? Again, this is what makes me laugh. Osman would flop in the Premier League. Why? Video complete. Let me ask you a question. Are you one of these that likes the Solanke signing? I'm going to ask that and then I'll come back to this. Are you one of those? Angus, big up, bro, said, do you think selling Eddie Nketiah to Palace for 30 million is good business? I think it's brilliant business. It's a youth player who's not good enough for you. You haven't had to pay for, and you're getting £30 million back the other way. We're selling players like Troy Parrott for 7 million, right? So, yeah, I think it's a great move. I think it's a great move for Arsenal. Yeah, South London. Yep. Can I do a call-in show for deadline? Yeah, on deadline day, I'm going to be doing many, many hours. I'm not working that day, so I'll do many hours and people can come on and off and have their say. I'm always happy for people to join the stream. I've always, for anyone who's watched me for all these years, I've always been very clear that YouTube, having a YouTube channel doesn't make anybody better than anyone else. It's a platform that I'm lucky enough to say my opinion on camera or unlucky enough. But I'm also lucky enough to give other people an opportunity to come on and have their say. So absolutely. Exactly, Ethan, that's what it means. Ethan Bates, absolutely. This is what it means. If Osman came to Spurs, everyone would go, there you go, Daniel Levy, great signing. But if he's going to anyone else, he's going to flop. He's going to flop in the Premier League. It does make you laugh. Chris, 3520 said, but they don't have a £4 full English breakfast with a pint in Mauritius. Yeah, off to Benidorm it is then. Do you know what? I went to Benidorm a couple of years ago for a stag do, and I was walking down the main strip at night, and it just smelt of sick. Like bar owners just throwing buckets of water down the side to get rid of all these young people puking up everywhere. And I thought, nah, I'm a bit too old for all that. Scott Greenaway has said, evening, Savva. Good evening to you, Scott. No chance Spurs bringing any ready-made players as they wouldn't want to join our club. Listen, players join West Ham. Players join Brighton. Players join Villa. Players join Newcastle. Of course, these players would want to join our club. We just don't have the ambition. Yes, I think Ugarte will be successful. I keep hearing that the Premier League is very physical and high pressing. I think it's a myth, if I'm going to be brutally honest. Angus, I'd love nothing more than to hear your dulcet Scottish tones. You're more than welcome to come on during Friday. God knows where I went, mate. I just know it was absolutely dreadful. Big up Daniela Zito says, Savva, have you seen the FC 25 Tottenham? What's FC 25? Is that FIFA? Also, are we in the third round draw for Carabao Cup tomorrow? I think it is cup games tonight and tomorrow. Yes, we will be in the cup draw. We'll know by the end of this week who we're getting knocked out to. I mean, who we're beating on the way to winning the League Cup. Again, look, this is... Look, I'm sorry, right? This is where it's really difficult. So far, you're knocking all these top forwards, but you were praising the signing of Dominic Solanke. It does make me laugh. Listen, guys, girls, I am going to leave it there. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. We're only 20 away now for the 13.4K. If 20 of you would subscribe, that'd be amazing. The link is there. Not that you've listened to me all show, but it's there anyway. Please smash the like button on your way out as well, as we're closing in on 320 likes. Thank you very much. Got a super chat here from Rinketic. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're well. I said, hi, would you take Arsenal Lord Kai today at Spurs? Kai Havertz? I'd take Kai Havertz at Spurs, yeah. I think Kai Havertz is a very, very underrated footballer that gets a lot of stick. What Kai Havertz is not is a prolific goal scorer. What he is a pain in the arse to play against. Same with Darwin Núñez. These guys are a pain to play against. Consistently a pain to play against. So would I have them as my out-and-out number 9 that scores 30 goals a season? No. Would I have them in my squad? Absolutely, I would. Look at the state of our forward line. Of course I would. Big up Rinketic again. Very generous of you with a second super chat. Has said, happy clapper Sav, who thinks we will win the cup. If you can't beat them, join him, Rinketic, right? If you can't beat them, join them. Big up to you. Big up, Mark. Thank you very much. Thanks, Daniel. Really appreciate that. I'm going to go and watch whatever I'm going to watch. Big up to Tottenham fan, to Daniela Stewart. Big up to you as well. Big up to Tottenham fan doing stuff who says, Savva, we will lose to Forest Green Rovers. And then all we will hear is, oh, they're a good upcoming team. Yeah. Liston said there's a couple of Champions League qualifiers tonight. The last deciding games, if I'm not mistaken. I believe so as well. Guys, on that note, take care. Whatever you do, be careful tonight. Spend the time with your loved ones. See you later. And remember, it's only football, right? It is only football. Whether Spurs win, lose or draw, as long as we wake up healthy the next day, that's all that matters. Take care, everyone. See you later. And as always, come on.